Yo, it's Friday. It's 3 o'clock Eastern. And you know what that means. We are back. Week 2, baby. Cashing points, live stream. As always, after the show, if you want to go back and listen at 1.5 times speed, get through the whole like 2 hour shebang here. Go to the media channel, hit up Premium Podcast. You can get through it there. But guys, this is like an amazing slate. Like I'm just so excited. Scott, I know you're like perturbed that this slate is so good, but man, there are so many good games, especially in the afternoon portion. So we'll get to that. But guys, how's it going? It's Friday. Ready to talk some DFS. How's everybody feeling?
Yeah, man. It's Friday afternoon, I guess, for you guys, early evening for me. And I mean, this slate reminds me of some olden day DFS slates where there's too many good games. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Scott, how's it going, man?
Hey, before we dive in, I wanted to give Johnny a shout out. He said Tyreek Hill was going to break the slate, was the single best wide receiver play. He was right. He said, do not play the rookies in week 1. All of the rookies, everyone wanted to play in week 1, flopped. The ones people didn't want to play smashed, at least comparatively. And we didn't talk about this on the last podcast, and I'm going to say this is on me, but Johnny reached out in DMs like 2 weeks ago saying, Debo's going to be the nuts, isn't he? And I was just like, I mean, that could happen. But then it looked like, Ayuk was off the injury report. So I'm like, oh, never mind. He's fine. And then what happened? Ayuk got the Dante Pettis treatment. Debo Samuel went off. Johnny had 100% exposure on Yahoo.
Not 100%. Not 100. I had like
close.
I had like 20, but he was only like 4% owned.
Okay,
which is essentially 100.
I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he was a smash for all the reasons you said it was a smash, which is he's missing valuable time with the install of the offense, and so that's on me for not bringing that up. I just saw Ayuk healthy, and I was like, oh, everything is fine. But yeah, you had those 3 great calls, and you had some other good calls. So just shout out to Johnny.
To be fair, though, I was saying that I thought Debo was like the nuts for like the best ball drafts because he had fallen into like round 7 or 8 or something while Ayuk was going like round 6, even though only one of them had been practicing for the last month.
Yeah, I was all over Debo in best ball too. I did like 100 teams between like 4 different sites, and I probably have like 38% Debo. He's just too cheap. And by the way, last week when I said I think Ayuk's a great GPP play, I clearly meant Brandon Debo Samuel. Clearly.
Trent Sherfield.
Yeah, I meant Debo. I misspoke clearly.
Dude, I was in on Trent. I was telling you about Trent, Scott.
You were.
All right, we'll get to the Niners.
Johnny doesn't take victory laps, so someone has to do it for him. Meanwhile, I'm going to tout up Elijah Moore, every week and just watch my credibility in the industry just, tank.
To be fair, Elijah Moore played full time. He just didn't get any targets. And the one target he got 4, and he had 1 target called back because of holding, I think.
Yeah, and he dropped a 60-yard play, so
yeah,
that would have been a lot more.
It's hard to take victory laps when you don't bank, Like I was close. I had some, potential, but I didn't win. The real victory laps that people need to take are when they win their money, go buy something cool.
Like a crypto dad.
Yeah. You're so mad about my crypto dad, dude.
Yeah, so he was like, this is going to be worth more than your car in 2 weeks. And I'm like, you know what? You're not wrong. Like I will never get into that kind of shit, that Ponzi scheme nonsense. But Tulip Mania.
Keep buying gold, bro. You'll be fine.
But I 100% guarantee he's right. And is it worth more than my shitty 10-year-old Honda Civic?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right.
Keep ignoring crypto, Scott, while Johnny and I just stack the money, please.
Yep.
People are just throwing gold bullion into the ocean. Like, this is useless.
For what it's worth, gold's been crushing too. Gold, I mean, everything's been crushing for the last 18 months, but gold's done well too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Just wait until they can start like powering cars with gold or something. Then it'll have value again.
If you could feed that into like a supercomputer that, buys Bitcoin or whatever it's called, mints Bitcoin, then it's worth something. But right now it's, useless.
Yeah.
All right, you want to talk the slate? Do you want to just go in the order you're going, or should we go in the order of over under?
Yeah, we'll just go through it 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. like we usually do. All right, let's get to it. Saints, Panthers, first game of the week that we're going to talk about here. Saints are 3-point favorites, over unders 44.5. Kind of sneaky big injury news. Obviously, Marshawn Lattimore is out. He injured his thumb, needs surgery. Whenever he comes back, Roby and Lattimore are going to be such a sick duo. But Marcus Davenport's going to miss this game too. So Saints are going to be down 2 of their 5 best players on defense. This game just kind of on a slate filled with amazing games. This game is just kind of gross overall. It has the 3rd worst adjusted pace and plays according to my data. Really, I mean, we can kind of get started with the Saints side because it's so simple. Alvin Kamara got workhorse usage last week, just didn't get the targets, simply because the Saints didn't really have to do too much, but he ran a route on 75% of Winston's dropbacks. Not too concerned there. Let's just open it up with the Saints. I mean, it's really Kamara, Callaway, and maybe Winston for tournaments. Any interest at all in like Troutman or Johnson, Scott?
Yeah, dude, Trout God, we love, paying down at the tight end position. People are going to hype up James O'Shaughnessy, but I do like, he's not super necessary this week, but I do like Trout God a lot. If you look at the usage last week, Trout God ran twice as many routes as Juwan Johnson. He ranked top 10 in route share. And then he actually ranked 2nd in target share among all tight ends. It was just hard to tell because Jameis Winston only threw 20 times, and then he threw a touchdown once every 5 passes. So if you didn't catch a touchdown, your day sucked. And that's also an argument for Marquez Callaway. But yeah, Trout God, strong value. Unfortunately, Waller Higbee. So I'm not going to have much exposure, but he's a good play. Jameis Winston as a rich man's Drew Brees. What were your thoughts there? Imagine Drew Brees without a noodle arm. How about that?
Yeah, well, okay, yeah. Brees' last couple of years, his arm was dead, but yeah, I kind of like Winston for tournaments. He's fine.
All I know is Ed Teach can predict the future. Like, he's from the future. That guy, we had him on our podcast, and he was like, "Yeah, my favorite bet is Jameis Winston MVP, Jameis Winston comeback player of the year, Saints over, blah blah blah." And so he's like, after hitting on Lamar Jackson, after hitting on the Buccaneers, he's now looking to make it like another $1 million on one of these crazy bets.
If Winston is going to throw 40 times this week, that means he's going to throw 10 touchdowns instead of 5. If we're just rolling with that. So
I still don't think you can play Winston. I mean, as long as Taysom Hill is like playing in the red zone, it's just not, you lose enough production over the course of the season. Like, there's going to be 20% of the games where Taysom makes Jameis, like, ruins his value for the week. And I think that's enough of the landmine that I'm just never going to play him.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's super valid, just because if you look at Drew Brees over the past few years, he was way better for fantasy than people realize. Like, if you just take out the 2 games, he only played like 3% of the snaps because of an injury. He was still a top 5 fantasy QB in 2 of the last 3 seasons, top 12 in 3 of the last 4.
But when you're looking at the whole season.
Okay.
But when you're looking at week to week,
Yeah.
like, there are going to be enough weekly landmines with Taysom.
Sure, but big upside too. But yeah.
Yeah, but there's just so many good quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
He also ran a little bit. I mean, we're getting sidetracked because I don't even really like Jameis. I just wanted to shout out Ed Teach.
Yeah.
I'm just letting everyone know I'm never going to like Jameis.
All right.
Yeah, there's too many. There's a lot of good quarterback plays this week too. I don't really think Jameis is necessary at all. But
Kamara's a smash though.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
On DraftKings.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the usage we saw for Kamara, they really weren't doing anything the second half of the game. So he played 45 of 60 snaps, and in the fourth quarter, they really didn't have